Have you ever had one of those days where your son gets home from school and they tell you, hey, Dad, history's boring? And you have to say to him, no, son, history's fun and exciting. Let me tell you why. Because history isn't just dates, it isn't just people. It's stories, it is processes, it is engineering things. This right here is one of the first types of clocks ever invented. The sundial was invented somewhere around 35 BC. Around 1600 BC, water clocks started to come up. And what you have here is really just a timer. And what would happen is you pour a little water on the top. And then it starts coming right down this little spigot here and drops into here. And it does one drop at a time. And those drops fill up the water. And when it hits a mark, they could tell the time. And ancient peoples weren't too much different than us. They had legal systems, they had authority, they had time you could spend with kings, they had the time of their day. And when you're in a court case, hey, you may only get to one mark of here, and then the other party has to go. So these clocks are important. One of the big problems they had was, as water drained out of the top cup, the water pressure pushing down the spigot decreased. And that means the drips took longer to go apart. So the same volume of water took more time. Now they played with it, they adjusted it, they made the marks a little closer together to account for that. But then this guy came around in the Library of Alexandria, and he said, wait a minute, how do we fix this? How do we make a clock more reliable? It wasn't by making it simpler. You really can't make that simpler. I think we can all agree on that. So what did he do? He added another clock, another water tank to go above. And then he added an overflow to go with it. I'm going to add a little water in here, fill it up all the way. Put that, there's my overflow. And what's going to happen, you get consistent water here. And then what you want to do is fill up this top cup. And what happens, this top cup fills slightly faster than this one drains. So that the top cup is always full. And then anything that goes over goes down these two spigots into a catcher cup. And by doing this, he can accurately make the water flow even throughout the day. And then, slave power, ancient Egypt, you just keep the top bucket full and the water always comes out consistent. So now you have a consistent water clock. Archimedes took this idea around 300 BC and made all kinds of things. He made a mechanical water clock. They could tell days, months, times, seasons. And it was all by this simple invention right here. Now, as you can see here, you have one more cup, two more cups, overflows, far more complex than the original concept, yet far more efficient, far more accurate, far more reliable. And that's what history tells us. It tells us the process of how we get to where we are today. And just because something's more complex today than it was years ago, does not mean it's unreliable. It probably means it's more reliable.